simulation software. It has the customized setting and functions which is favorable to the healthcare organization, which is also favorable to the optometry clinic at PolyU. Therefore, by visualizing the impact and the consequences with the simulation results from Flexim Healthcare, it can definitely assist in decision making in the optometry clinic at PolyU. So here are the reference lists, and here comes the Q&A section. Thank you.
Okay, so I think the first question for me. So, what is the objective? What is the goal for your project?
As mentioned, I have the objective. The objective of this function is to perform a simulation on the optometry clinic, which simulates its surface. And then we can test the model with different scenarios and with the ratio, which is the input variable. And then we can identify the optimal ratio, which is suitable for the optometry clinic. And from this, we can demonstrate the use of simulation tools in decision making.
Okay, do you think that the results of your simulation is very helpful to the real scenario in clinic?
I believe it has certain extent that it is useful, as this is simulating the student eye examination in the clinic, but I did not simulate the other functions. However, by simulating this eye examination, it can provide some evidence that, for example, the current situation is actually a good scenario, and that they can keep on to using. Also, in the future, if they are having some relocation or some modification in their clinic, they could also apply this model to help whether they need to have changes in their plans.
Do you have any findings to prove that maybe the current practice in the clinic is not good? Because you prove, okay, the current situation is pretty good, but do you have any findings which prove that maybe the current arrangement is not good? So there's quite a lot of space to further improve.
Yes, and thank you. And this problem actually is arise from the optometry clinic. As I interviewed with Mr. Peter Pang, he suggests that there are some issues in the optometry clinic that they would like to improve. For example, in this case, the eye examination may take a long time, as some patient may need to wait more than 10 to 20 minutes for the teacher to perform the eye examination. And so this causes the late dismissal of the patient, and which further cause queuing in the following patients. And so as they observe these kind of problems, they believe, or they would like to look for, is there any possible ways that by changing the number of teachers, they could improve this problem?
In your simulation, I think there will be a lot of parameters for you to input. So how did you get the parameters?
Most of the parameters are being collected from the interview with Mr. Peter Pan, as he provide me with a lot of information. For example, the process flow is also an important parameter in the simulation, and also the process time of each activity also varies. So with this kind of parameter, I can input them with the real life data into the simulation model.
Yeah, so I think one potential problem is the parameters you collected, you received from the director. Maybe those parameters, those data are often collected based on current practice, but maybe the current practice is not good. So the parameters may not be very useful or accurate. Then you use those parameters to do the simulation. So that's why, I thought that maybe why you prove that the current practice is good, because the parameters you use already obtained from those existing practice. So this can be in some sense, it's a rule. That is, what you verify may not be very accurate because the parameters you use is not good, right?
However, I I haven't thought of this before, but because in this situation, as the process time is actually, it will not change. For example, the patient taking the pretest, it would be 2 minutes, and that's 2 minutes, and this will not affect the others variables. And then so the data collected is actually just this process time, which is actually non-changeable factors. And so although it seems like that it is favorable to scenario 2, which is the current ratio, however, it is just by adjusting the different the numbers of teachers, other things keeping constant, for example, the appointment time, the process time, and also the arrival pattern. And so it is observed that even if we increase the number of teachers, the scenario it seems to be optimal with 3 students to 1 teacher.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you a little bit about the simulation that you use. So could you explain why you use this FlexSim simulation software? How it is different to maybe general purpose simulation software?
Yeah, and there are several simulation software. And for FlexSim Healthcare, it itself is customized for a healthcare organization, which it provides the flowchart as mentioned, and also the patient track, which is really useful and user-friendly when you are implementing a simulation on a healthcare environment. And also, it provides a 3D simulation, which helps really the visualization of the process and also the changes, as some of the simulation in the public are not providing the 3D visualization, but just the 2D. And also, FlexSim Healthcare is really it's an easy tool that it does not require much programming, and so it is good for implementation when it is coming to a business environment for making the decision making.
And can your model be extended to check for other bottlenecks, for instance?
I believe it can. For example, as I am simulating the examination performed by the student, it can help to observe whether there are other bottlenecks. For example, any other waiting time, for example, waiting for the pretest machines, and also is there any long queuing in the dispensing or other queuing in the optometry clinic. Thank you.
We are the supervisor, so we know the project too well.
Okay.
And one piece of information for Professor Jiang Li is that it is a true cooperation. We have all the way up to the department head approval, the donation of the data. They actually want us to see if this is a good thing. They don't know.
Okay.
So it's a very exciting project, and thank you for the cooperation.
Yeah, the conclusion is very interesting. But I suggest that maybe you can try to use some real data to validate whether the
As
current.
well.
Yeah, yes.
And also chance exists we might knock at the door of the other healthcare department, nursing, rehabilitation, see whether computing can contribute more things
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
other colleagues. That's what we
That's
want.
right.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Actually, I'm not sure. Because I have a different